Hi, this is Odeean. Today's video is inspired by the review I did of Biollante a couple of weeks ago. This is another big tree-like creature, a monster maybe you want to call it that, probably most wouldn't. Treabeard from Lord of the Rings Return of the King. This thing is really becoming ancient now from mid-2000s. I've still got it in the box, not mint and seal box. I've had this guy out, but the box was the most convenient storage option for me. He displays nicely with a big window there. This is actually the second version of this figure from Return of the King. There was another version, I think, in a red coloured box from the Two Towers. On the back, you can see Merry and Pippin. I had all of these guys, but sadly, they've all met their end at the hands of my son when he was a little boy. The only one left I've got now is Treabeard. So let's get him open and have a look. Treabeard is not as deep in colour when you get him out of the box as what I would like. It may be my memory, but I thought he was a richer colour back then. It's possible that the plastic has degraded a bit over time. If you look at the top here, you can see that there's a hole because he comes with a branch that wouldn't fit in the box. And you just got to pop that in. And the batteries are still going after all that time. Pretty impressive. Let's see what else he can say. Which is the button.
Don't be hasty. Treabeard, some call me. I told Gandalf I would keep you safe, and safe is where I'll keep you.
So you can see his moustache moves and his eyes light up. That's pretty cool. He's got this feature at the back where supposedly if you pull down on this lever, his arm flips up. But that's the extent of it. So it's, I guess they had to put something on the box to appeal to kids. As a collector, that's really quite pointless, and I would have preferred that the arm was more stiff. I mean, you can push it to a point where it causes some friction here and will hold up, but it's really not designed to hold its own weight, and it's only from kind of bending it out of its normal plane of motion that you do get that ability. The elbow is pretty limited by today's standards, but going back 10 years, it wasn't too bad at the time. The other arm has no feature, is just pretty loose, and it's even worse for the friction because there's nowhere to jam it on, so it just won't stay up. On the leg, we've got backwards and forwards and a tiny bit of movement at the knee and nothing at the feet. Importantly, they did include a graspable hand here, and that's so it can interact with the smaller figures. It looks like a ball on the wrist, but I'm afraid that if I try to bend it inwards, it's going to snap off, so I'm stuck with just using that rotation. The hand actually works really well. So here I've got Pink Ranger. It's a girl, I had to buy it. Pink Ranger in the hand, and with the feature you can see he can shake her up and down like that, and she stays nice and secure in there. So the hands are done surprisingly well. I like that. The other hand can grasp also, but again without the feature, that's why I'm not showing it here. Now I'll just take a moment to show some of the textures on this guy, because he has been sculpted really nicely. It's a nice looking figure and it looks just like the movie. Lots of nice leaf details up here. This is flexible stuff. Very nice leaf work. I would have liked it if he had more of this leaf detail all over him, like maybe hanging off his arms, because for a tree he's got plenty of bark and wood, but very little foliage. So we've got another leaf here. Some moss growing on him. It's kind of dry brushwork, it looks like, on the bark. This is where his battery goes. I've never actually taken the battery out, so his original battery is still going after all this time. That's pretty cool. I'm glad it hasn't leaked. For scale, here's Biollante, who is huge in and of itself. With the ruler, Treabeard comes to 38 or more, if you count this little branch at the top. 38, 39, 40 centimeters tall. So he is huge. Now, I remember at the time, the cost of this in my local dollars was $80, I think. I've seen this guy all over the place on eBay for much, much less than $80. In fact, you can more easily and more cheaply buy Treabeard today than you ever could back when he was first out. I've seen this multiple times for $50. If you're into it, definitely pick it up, because that's a pretty good price, especially when you consider that a similarly sculpted figure like Biollante is $215 plus a massive amount of shipping. Treabeard, $50, good deal. My final thoughts on Treabeard: he's made by Toybiz. Now, almost every figure I ever bought from Toybiz sucked in some way, mainly because parts would just break off them and they were really too bendy and too had a lack of durability, let's just say that. Treabeard doesn't suffer from that. Because he's so huge and so simple in his moving parts, he comes across really well. So I can recommend getting him, especially given that I said he's still available right now. I'm glad I revisited him. I'm glad to bring him out. I haven't looked at Treabeard in quite some time, and he holds up. I'm happy with it. I think you will be too. I'm odeean. Thanks for watching.